Wow. Welcome to the Professor's Film Tidbits. Today we're going to introduce a show called Factually Opinionated. This show is going to be about me and my co-host, Mr. Slipcover himself, Bulleit Blake. We're going to be discussing a topic, and today's topic, why do so many people pretend to like Midsommar? Oof, yeah. So, Bulleit, why don't you go ahead and give us your opinion?
Okay. If we're talking about Midsommar, which we are, because for some reason we're gluttons for punishment or something, I don't know. After watching it, it was terrible. Honestly, after watching that, even halfway through that movie, I was like, I don't know why we're watching this. I want to walk out and leave the theater right now. I will say, it started off okay. The movie started off with that opening scene in the house or whatever.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, that's pretty fucking cool. And then maybe 20 minutes later, it's like, holy shit, this movie sucks balls. Okay, it's just not good. It was.
I mean, go ahead and tell us how you really feel, man.
The problem with this movie is before you even get there, it was super fucking hyped. Like, really fucking hyped. Everyone's talking about Ari Aster this, blah, 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 that. Who gives a shit about this and who even cares about that? Nobody gives a fuck because this movie is just dull as shit. It's like watching paint dry. It's a total fucking ripoff of Wicker Man. Doesn't matter what anyone else says. That's a fact. It's the truth. It's a ripoff.
People are just going to have to get used to it.
It's just the way it is. It's a ripoff of Wicker Man. It doesn't matter what anyone else says. I don't care. I don't want to hear your arguments because they're falling on deaf ears. It's a ripoff.
And it very much is. The thematic qualities that are built throughout the first half of each film are the same. An isolated protagonist. And there's going to be a couple of people that say that Dani is not isolated because she's got her boyfriend and his friends. But holy crap, if you pay attention to what's actually going on, they treat her like shit, and she wasn't even initially invited. So it is still isolation, and then going through what she had with her family, and Christian, her boyfriend, is completely unempathetic with the fact that you know she's going through so much trauma. Which I like having the backstory for Dani. That, to me, that is a plus point for the film.
That's the best part.
Yeah, for Wicker Man, there's nothing for Howie other than he's a cop and he's Christian, like devout. So there's nothing really there to get you into him until the Wicker Man gets into its story of, okay, he's interacting with his people and he's not liking it. And then it's becoming darker and darker tone for the film of him looking for this little girl and then just trying to stay alive, which is where most of the tension is built for the Wicker Man. But the tension that's built for Midsommar, which is really the only difference between the two films, is the way the tension is built. Dani's isolation from her friends and family. I say friends and family, friends and boyfriend. And then all of their isolation within the village itself. The way it builds that isolation is completely different. And there's going to be a lot of people also that bring up the fact that Wicker Man is an anti-Christian film, which it is not. I would say that it's an anti-zealotry film. Because Howie's character is a zealot. And not only is he a zealot, he's not even within the right mind space of being what many would consider being a good Christian is. Unless you're an atheist or an angry atheist, and then all Christians are bad anyway. So that doesn't matter. That's neither here nor there. But oh my God. Okay, so Midsommar hits all the A24 technical high points. there's so many shots that are held for too long.
So many shots that are held for too long.
There's going to be those that argue with me. Visual storytelling is real storytelling. Yes, visual storytelling is real storytelling. And I love visual storytelling. In fact, some of the best visual storytelling that you could ever see is the first 5 minutes of Something Wicked This Way Comes, where it's really setting the scene, not with the words that's going on, but with the shots that it's providing to everybody. Seeing the boys run in the fields, seeing them running into town, seeing them with the boy's father. That is a way to do good visual storytelling, because none of the shots are drawn out too long. You guys talk about this in your bottom of the barrel videos, where the editor just can't let go of a shot, just has to keep it going, just keep it going that much longer. It'll be so much better if it's held on that much longer. But with that being said, the way the colors are presented and the saturation of colors in Midsommar is beautiful. But that doesn't excuse the fact that after a while it's just color vomit.
It's given the illusion that it's way more artistic than it is by adding these stupid, like, psychedelic trippy shit. This is what bothers me the most about the movie, is they have like all these subtle, like, warped parts of the movie to try and make it seem more artsy than it actually is, but really it's trying too hard. It's trying way too fucking hard to be this intellectual whatever.
Well, it's not even that intellectual.
That's the thing. But people will act like it is. People will pretend that it's intellectual and it's this huge moving artwork, cinematic masterpiece bullshit. But that's all fucking.
Yeah, but everything for Midsommar is pretty much right on the surface.
Yeah.
Like, let's compare it to the fact of, with the Wicker Man, the main character, hardcore devout Christian, looking for this little girl, starts panicking because of what he sees in this town with the paganistic rituals that they go through, the orgies, the scene where he almost completely loses himself when the innkeeper's daughter is in the other room trying to get him to have sex with her. The crazy freaking scene, man. And then at the end of it, you've got the death of the Christian, or the death of Christianity. Whereas in Midsommar, you've got that same thematic element pretty much right on the surface again, because you've got these Western cultured individuals coming into this small area that's all paganistic. All of them have pretty much Christian ideals. All of them are very rude, except for Danny, who's just hurting. And then at the very end of it, guess what? It's the death of Christian. I mean, it's right on the nose. It punches you in the fucking face. I just don't understand how people don't see it.
It's that whole A24 fandom, I don't know, obsessive, where everything has to be awesome because it's from A24, yada yada yada. They're a cult themselves, where they're just obsessed with everything A24. So, like, even this goes for Uncut Gems. I mean, we've discussed Uncut Gems. It's the same fucking story. Everyone just went into it automatically saying this is going to be great, and then they went out and said it sure was great. It didn't matter what it was. That's the problem with a lot of these A24 movies. It's because they're just so obsessed with the label and the fact that it's this more sophisticated film, supposedly, allegedly, all bullshittery. It's just not. The problem
is when you give A24 that much credit, there really is it takes away from the A24 films that are actually good.
Yeah,
because you've got, for me, oh, holy crap, Green Room. I love Green Room.
Yeah, that's a top 5.
After Yang, fantastic.
Another top 5. They're fucking great.
Yeah, Ex Machina. Oh, another one that's top tier for me.
X is right up next to that too for me. I loved. There's so many good ones, but Midsommar is. I've seen every A24 film. Like, I'm not bashing on A24 films because I watched them all. But holy fucking shit, Midsommar is not even past the midway mark. It's down by the bottom. It's bottom 20 out of the 100 and I don't know. I don't remember exactly how many they're out. 115, 16, something like that. It's bottom 20. It's not good. It's not a good movie. It's garbage.
Right down there, right with Green Knight.
Oh, Green Knight is worse in my opinion, but that can be its own video on a whole nother day.
So I mean, I just when you talk about Midsommar, it's just I'm tired of these people saying I revisited this film and it's still immaculate and I feel like it's the Virgin Mary of films and I'm going, oh dear God, please make it stop.
Or you don't know unless you've watched the extended version. Blah blah blah.
I
blah,
am
blah.
not watching the extended. Okay,
There's no fucking way.
I don't know if you rewatched it for this, but I did at like double speed.
I couldn't bring myself to do it. I hated the movie so much that
I regret it so much. But the only reason I wanted to do it is to make sure I had certain things in order.
Yeah, well,
because there's a couple things that I remembered wrong, which was the boyfriend's sex scene. I forgot that he got that he was tripping through the whole thing.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And so I just that just like blew my mind. Which there's another sort of way to compare it to Wicker Man right there. The main Christian character, which is literally named Christian, losing himself to lust, just like Howie was just blindsided by it with the innkeeper's daughter. It's very similar because when he was in the room alone and she was doing that weird little dance singing thing that she was doing in the next room, trying to get him to come over. It felt like he was on drugs. Like, do you remember the scene I'm talking about? I mean, it's
vaguely.
It's very reminiscent of tripping to me, or the way tripping could be portrayed on film in a way that, you know, doesn't get you in trouble.
Yeah.
But also with that, I mean, the film Midsommar completely eviscerates Western Christian viewpoints and standards by, you know, the kids coming in just being completely disrespectful of the people's culture and what one of them pissed on that tree, didn't he? Like their sacred tree,
their sacred tree or some shit.
Yeah, and then, you know, you've got Howie and Wicker Man going through the same thing, just completely disrespecting all the paganistic beliefs of the people in Summer Isle. That's the island that it takes place on. And even ends up going to the church. Well, just pisses everybody off in general when he goes to the school and he's trying to go through like the attendance records to find the little girl and everything, and just scaring the crap out of everybody. And then goes to the old church on the island and it's all broken down, and he breaks these crates that are on the altar and turns it, you know, takes the wood and makes a cross just to piss off the woman breastfeeding her daughter right there. I mean, it's just there's so many similarities. Like, I will admit that some of the core conflicts between the two movies are completely different. But
the overarching story is the same. It is it's a lighter version, like a brighter, not
it's
like
definitely
happier.
brighter. And something about Midsommar is that it never there's never night.
Yeah.
It's never dark. It's never dark. It's like Alaska during the summertime. You got a month of light, and that's it. But another correlation is that both of the two movies take place during their summer solstice. Both of the two movies have the same maypole dancing scene. Both of the two movies have the big festival that's going on, their big, you know, summer festival. So, I mean, there's too many similarities just to discount it. And then,
keep going.
Also about comparing these two movies, whereas Wicker Man is definitely a subversive horror movie of its time. I would argue that Midsommar is not a horror movie.
I would agree with that completely, 100%.
And I'm basing this off of Ari Aster's own words. he wants the film to be remembered as a fairy tale. And I can't disagree, because when you look at it as a fairy tale, holy crap, is it almost Cinderella.
I mean, yeah.
It's crazy. But all fairy tales have that basis in horror, because fairy tales were intended to make children learn life lessons as they were growing up, so that they didn't have to go through the hardships of actually learning it the nasty way.
I mean, it'd be one of the worst fairy tales ever.
I'm not going to disagree.
And I've read a lot of shitty fairy tales.
Yeah, I've read quite a few bad ones. But still, I mean, looking at it that way, the fact that Ari Aster doesn't even want it to be classified as a horror film, and then everybody still is. But that brings into another argument. Well, the filmmaker, once the filmmaker puts his art into the world, is he still allowed to dictate how people are allowed to see it? It's a difficult question, and has nothing to do with this, so don't worry about answering. It's more rhetorical than anything else.
Well, I mean, this movie even got critical acclaim, which is super fucking weird to me. But all at the same time, it's not, because it seems like critics now just go with what they're paid to go with, more or less, than what they actually feel about the movie.
That's because critics don't want to lose their access. They're shills. Critics like getting early access so that they can, make themselves seem, hey, I've got early access. I can go see this already. I'm going to tell you how it is. And it gives them a sense.
You'll never get genuine reactions from them. At least,
yeah.
I mean, sometimes you will, obviously, but not all the time.
Which is why a lot of times when I want like genuine reactions, I'll wait until the movie's out and go on to here on YouTube and just look up some people who, have similar tastes to mine, talk about the movie. A lot of people throw reviews on YouTube now. So, I mean,
the way it's done.
Yeah. So I don't even know why we're still paying attention to like professional critics, or
it don't matter.
Those people who deify the critics, because there's a lot of people that do.
I agree completely. Once again.
But we've got quite a bit of time here. We've both thrown quite a few arguments at this. Why don't you give us a wrap up of what you think about now?
So the movie's garbage. Obviously, it is garbage to the 10,000th, millionth, bazillionth degree. It's fucking awful. It shouldn't be watched by anyone. I mean, I'm not gonna say don't go watch it, but I'm gonna say don't go fucking watch it, man. Honestly, it's just bad. And as far as A24 goes, it's bottom for me. Like, not all the way at the bottom, but it's close.
It's pretty close to bottom for me, because I haven't gone through all of the A24 movies like you have. I just can't bring myself to do it.
It was a little daunting, but I managed.
There are some films I do really want to watch, like Revenge of the Green Dragon, because I love Ray Liotta.
See, I love that one, but that one's another one that people pretend to hate for some reason. I don't know why they do. They just do.
I don't know, man. But yes, Midsommar is a terrible movie. There's a difference between homage and ripoff. And this feels less homage to me and more ripoff. And that's all I can say, which makes me dislike the movie more.
It's awful.
It is.
We just, if you haven't seen it yet, we have just saved you from wasting time watching this drivel.
And whatever you do, don't watch the extended cut.
This shouldn't even exist.
Doesn't it have like another 20, 25 minutes?
How can someone even stand it? How can anyone even stand sitting there and watching it for extra time? I was dying. It was so fucking slow. And the reveal wasn't impressive or mind-altering or amazing or anything. It was just, oh my God, please let the movie end already.
Well, that's the thing. It didn't have a reveal.
Yeah, it was fucking...
The movie led you by the nose through the whole time. There was no twist. There was no big reveal. It was just, I'm here. I'm watching this. I want to go home. Can I go home yet? Like when I left the theater, actually, well, we saw this one together, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
We left the theater. I believe we went to the bar directly afterwards to drink ourselves into stupidity.
You'd have to. I mean, it was the only option. That was all there was left to do after watching this fucking movie, was to get stupid, piss poor drunk and try to forget the whole thing.
And unfortunately, we failed.
It's forever emblazoned on my mind how fucking trash this fucking movie is.
And on that note, Bulleit, thanks for joining me for this. It's been a fun time. I'm hoping everybody enjoys this. If you did enjoy this and you want more content like this, go ahead and click the subscribe, the like button, smash it. And we're going to try and do this more for you. And then hopefully we'll throw some other different types of shows on this channel. But other than that, thanks for watching, guys. Please come back.